Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Alcock. I'm Managing Director of Gomo Learning. Pleasure to see you all here, and thanks for taking the time to look at this talk on all devices, all the time, responsive and adaptive design in reality. And why do we need responsive design? And the answer's on the page behind you there. It's the proliferation of devices. We've gone from a situation where we were delivering e-learning on desktops and laptops 5 years ago to having to deliver on smartphones and tablets of infinite screen size variations. And I'll show you some statistical analysis of this, of our experience with this. So, quick poll, how many devices do you use in a typical day? Perhaps a quick show of hands if you just use one device during the day. Nobody? 2 devices? No? No one? 3? I've got 3. Tablet, smartphone, laptop. More than 3? 2 hands, great stuff. So yeah, when we did this poll online, the answer to this one was 3.7 devices on average. So that's the sort of devices we want to use to consume content. And that means we have to start thinking about responsive design principles, the ability to build content once and have it respond and adapt to different devices. So in web design, it's where sites provide an optimal experience with a minimum of resizing, panning and scrolling across a wide range of devices. And this is done from proportional grids, flexible images and media queries. I won't go into too much of the detail of those, but basically it allows us to create content that responds to the device size automatically. So here's an example of, not particularly e-learning, but it's an example of device responsiveness and also adaptiveness. So here's a little course, and I've been lining this up, and I've been using a column grid, which is what we use at Gomo for our positioning within devices. And if I just unpin this browser and move these guys around a little bit, oops. Just pull these around like so. So I've set these monkeys up to be left, center, right, justified, and also fit to width. And as I shrink the browser down, you can see them starting to move together until the player realizes, okay, we're now at the limit of how those guys can sit together. When we get past a certain limit, we stack the items vertically, and we're now looking at something that looks like a mobile phone, and we've now got our left, center, right and fit to width justifications. So that's how we handle content adaptation with responsiveness in Gomo. I'll go back to full screen. The other thing you need to do is fill the screen in any orientation. So if your course doesn't fill the screen, it's probably not responsive. If it doesn't handle the orientation, it's probably not adaptive. And if it takes your e-learning course that might be a 1024 by 768 rectangle and pushes it up into the top third of your smartphone, it's probably unusable. So to show you this on my device here, this is Gomo content running on a tablet. As I navigate through the course with supporting swipe gestures, if I turn the device around in my hand, the content is adapting to the changing device conditions. So we've got full screen content on every device. And we do that through media queries and checking out what the device is, interrogating the device, and then interrogating the browser. We also have the concept of content adaptation. This is a nice little interaction, click and reveal. Again, if I disconnect the browser and shrink that down a little bit, it now becomes a much wider vertical stacking interaction. When it gets past the breakpoint and it realizes it can set them next to each other, it will do that. So that's content adapting itself to the changing browser conditions. And we use that when we turn devices around in our hands. So the player is sensing the device is turned around and it can display things in a more usable way for our users. Excuse me. Next thing we can do with adaptive design is device targeting. Because we know what the device is and we can sense the device, we can target the device with particular content. A good example is you might have a beautiful world map on your desktop and tablet course that looks fantastic, but if you just shrink it down to smartphone size, it becomes unusable, the text is unreadable, the hit point's too small to hit. If you use device targeting, we can then target a mobile phone or smartphone with a different version of that world map, maybe a nice scrolling world map. So device targeting for content adaptation. We can also make our content dynamic by doing lots of embedding. So we've got lots of customers using this where you can embed just about anything inside your courses. So we can embed videos from Vimeo, from YouTube. We've got my Twitter feed coming in there on the right. So you can have e-learning courses with live content in them. So your courses aren't static. They're dynamically updating themselves from live feeds off the internet. Same again here. This is a Google Map embed. And you can see I'm bringing in Street View and all of the elements out of Google Maps. And I think this one is Google Street View. So again, my e-learning is very dynamic and very alive because I'm embedding live content into the courses. Quick case study of one of our users, Climate Kick. They're building entire MOOCs around multi-device resources created with Gomo. They're using the collaboration features to put the content together. But the thing that really excites them is the fact that they only have to build a course once, and it's automatically ready for desktop, tablet, and smartphone. So having built their assets in Gomo and got them on the internet, they can study usage. And with the Gomo analytics tools, they can see how people are consuming those contents. So on that note, I will just talk about Gomo for a minute, and then I'll create a bit of responsive and adaptive content to give you an idea of how we can put it together. So Gomo lets you create courses through a web browser. It's a cloud-based service. You log in to build your content. You can customize your content to look exactly how you want it to look. We've got themes in there that control the look and feel of the courses, and you can change those to your heart's content. It's in the cloud, so it's collaborative. You can work together, both at the authoring process, the review process, and the delivery process. And then sat behind it, we have full hosting and distribution, so you can get the content into the hands of your learners instantly. But not only that, you get full XAPI analytics, so you can start to see dashboards of how people are using your content. So let's go and have a look at that. We'll go over to Gomo. So this is Gomo. I'm live on the internet. I'm logged in as myself. These are all the courses I've got access to. And if I want to create a quick brand new project now, I'll just build a few screens out to show you Gomo working practice. So it's Tuesday today, and the time is 14:23. So I'll choose where my folders are going to go. Next step, I'll choose the theme. So I'll set the look and feel up for this course. I'll choose Night Sky. I can choose any of these. We also create custom themes for some of our bigger customers like Burberry and Nike. I'll now choose what my students are going to see in this course. So I'm going to give them a menu, help, glossary, exit button. And then finally, I can choose which of my colleagues are going to collaborate with me on the development of this course. Because Gomo is a cloud-based service, we can all log in and work together and really boost the speed of production. That course is now online. Ooh, excuse me. There's the main menu and the 3 topics that I created. And the footer navigation, I've got some of my tools there. So maybe in the header, we'll stick in a table of contents and a progress bar like so. So I've set up my course. I'm now going to build out 2 or 3 pages, just put some content in, and then we'll see the responsive and adaptive behavior. So I've clicked on to topic 1. I'm now in the authoring side of things, so we might call this Introduction to Gomo, like so. I've got a 2-column layout here, and if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see I can have up to 4 columns. And it's the column metaphor that Gomo uses for multi-device behavior. So on a desktop and a tablet computer, these 2 text blocks will sit next to each other. On a smartphone, it will drop the right-hand text block below the left-hand text block. So our smartphone users got nice scrolling behavior. So I'll just edit that text on the right-hand side, multi-device authoring, like so. On the left-hand side, I'm going to delete this text block out, and we'll drop in an image for this particular page. So I'll just drag a static image in. It's all drag and drop, no programming needed. Get a list or a thumbnail view of my images. So for this one, I'll just grab the Gomo Learning logo, and I'll right justify that one in that column. I'll now create a second screen. And I can build screens from templates. This allows me to build really interactive screens very quickly. So I'm going to build a Hotspot image screen. This is an image where the student can click and reveal things. We'll call this one Our Offices, like so. In the Hotspot placeholder, I'll go and find a world map. I can search through the image database. I'm just being lazy and messing about to find it. There it is. And because this is an interactive screen, Gomo's already created me 3 subscreens for the reveals I'm going to put in. So I'll make the first one about Brighton. I'll change the text to be Brighton for the Brighton office. And I'll drop in an image of Brighton onto this page. And I should have Brighton Pier. There it is. And then on the second one, we'll make this very quickly about the New York office. Like so. And again, I'll drop in an image of New York. Now these images are already loaded. I can upload on the fly if I just want to grab an image that I've just seen on the internet or whatever it might be. I'm being lazy again. I'm just looking for an image of New York. I could search for it as well. And then we'll set up the interactivity. So if I double click on here, here's my hotspot. So we'll put hotspot number 2 over the US. Hotspot number 1 over the UK, which has miraculously grown, like so. Hotspot number 3 will stick over there for now. And if I look at the actions associated with hotspot 1, it's currently set to show the Brighton subscreen, which is what I want it to do. However, I could link to a website, open a PDF, jump to a different page, change the score, set a variable, change an image, loads of things I could do to make this course interesting. So that's screen 2 done. We'll make one more screen now. So I'll add a quiz very quickly. So I'll just go for the basic multiple choice question. And the question can be, where is our head office? Whoops, where is, if I could type today, it would help. Head office, like so. Set up the quiz. So we'll say London, Brighton, which will be the correct answer, and New York. So I'll set Brighton to be the correct answer. I'll give the correct feedback when they click on Brighton and the incorrect feedback when they click on something else. And perhaps we'll just stick a video on this page. So go back to the assets, grab my video player, double click, and I'll just have something distracting on the page there. I can now save those changes and then preview the content. If you've got smartphones or tablets with QR code readers, now's the time to get them out, because you can all have this course on your phones as well if you're interested in trying that. So if I go back to the project view, I will share this project. That QR code will be coming up again in a sec, and let's now preview that project. And one of the really nice things about Gomo is the ability to preview your courses across all the different devices inside the Gomo browser, so you don't have to go and deploy to test out on mobile phones or tablets. So here comes that course. I started at 14:23. It's now 14:30, so it's taken me 7 minutes to do it so far. If we go into topic 1, I had my intro to gomo. I had my offices screen with my Brighton and my New York reveals, like so. And I had my head office question with my video on the other side. Brighton was the correct answer, so I get the correct feedback. That's how a course will look on a desktop, on a tablet. Now we see it starting to respond. And if I go back to the menu, maybe just jump back into topic 1 again. Let's have a look at that course on a smartphone. Now gomo's stacking the columns vertically. So when I get to the third screen in here, you can see the video is now below. So my smartphone users still got a very usable course. They can read where is the head office. They can touch the Brighton quiz questions. It hasn't shrunk everything down into the top corner of the phone. It's still completely usable. They can play the video. They can full screen it on the device. So I've got a multi-device ready course in less than about 7 minutes. If you do have a QR code reader and you want to point it at that course will jump onto your device. And then if you turn your device around in your hands, you'll see the content adapting and responding. I'll modify this course in a second. If you refresh your browsers, you'll also see the changes that I'm making. There's a few people pointing, so I'll just give it a second or two while you get your course onto your device. Everyone done? I can put it up again at the end if anyone else wants to play with that. So I mentioned at the beginning the themes. Themes control the look and feel of the course. So if I want to adjust that course now, and let's look at the theme. It's currently using this night sky theme. I could pick any of these others and it would pick those up. Or I might just choose to tweak that theme a little bit. So on the global settings page, I might just choose to make some settings. This is the only time you specify size in gomo. You might want to limit the width of a course on a desktop computer to a percentage. On tablets and smartphones, the player figures it out. You don't have to set anything. But I might want to just change some of the colors in that theme. So I'll make the blue a little bit bluer. I'll make the orange a little bit redder. I might also want to just rebrand that course so I can change the backgrounds in here. If 100 courses were looking at this theme, they would all pick up these changes. So I can very quickly rebrand 1 or 100 courses. And I'll just go and find a nice full screen image for the background. I can set the fonts and the colors, apply those changes. And if you did point your QR code reader at that course, and I'll ping it up again, if you hit refresh on your devices, you should see the rebranded version now with the new screen background and the new color schemes coming through. And there it is. So that's what you should be seeing on your devices now. So that's the authoring side, putting responsive and adaptive content together in less than 10 minutes. We also now have with gomo hosting and XAPI analytics, and we've been collecting some really interesting statistics on this. If I go over to my analytics panel, this course, I did this for an exhibition in Texas last week called MLearnCom. I published it out on gomo. We published it on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, lots of other places. And in the last week, 196 people have run this course. 48% of them are on desktop. So we had more users on mobile devices than we did on desktop. And that, I think, is really encouraging, but also, you know, these sorts of insights to your data could be real drivers to how you develop your e-learning going forward. If more people want it on the handheld devices, you need to be making mobile-ready content. If I go down into the analytics, we're tracking XAPI statements throughout here. So it's just doing a round trip to Learning Locker, which is the LRS we're pointing at. But I can see the latest interactions within this course. So the last person was in just over an hour ago. They went to screen 8, they did the main menu, they experienced, they resumed. So we're tracking all of this data automatically. We get that down to question level tracking as well. So if your LMS can only report a 70% quiz score, Gomo can report that most people get question 4 wrong out of your quiz. And you can then start looking at the learning associated with question 4 and maybe improve the quality of the learning around that point. So last couple of things to show you. With Gomo's tracking, you can embed courses. I can send a link out to drop it into Twitter or Facebook over HTTP or HTTPS. We can get an embed code, so you can embed courses within a website. We also have embed codes for SCORM LMSs as well, so you can use Gomo to power your existing LMS, put the embed code in, and then whenever you update the course in Gomo, your LMS instantly updates, so you're not spending all your lives FTP, zip, download, upload, SCORM projects all the time. Last thing to show you then, people usually ask about how much Gomo costs, so I will just put this screen up if you are curious. Let's go back to the website and the pricing page. If you're just interested in the authoring, then it starts at what I think is a pretty reasonable £49 a month, the single plan. It's one user login, unlimited projects, gigabytes of storage. Most popular plan we have is the small team, and that's for 4 users. There's a whole raft of collaboration features that come in there, so you can got workflow and collaboration as you're building content. 4 gigabytes of storage. If you're a bigger user, talk to me or any of the Gomo team. And then if you want the hosting and analytics part as well, then the small package gives you 1 author, up to 250 students a month and 20 courses. The medium package gives you 4 authors, up to 750 students and 50 courses. If you're a big organization like some of our customers like Burberry or Nike, then the enterprise package, talk to us, and again we'll package up a deal that would match your requirements. So once again, if you do want to talk any more about Gomo, anything I've talked about today, we're just behind the Leo stand here, so literally in the next corridor just to the left there. More than happy to take any questions if anyone's got them now, or have a chat at the desk if you want to come and chat to me afterwards. And I'd just like to say thank you for time and attention. Thank you.